Mountain Democrat, April the 19th, 1890. Article is called Sketches. Oh, we got a call coming in. Hello. Hey, how are you? I was. Oh, I was doing some dictations. I did one of them, and I was contemplating doing the other one. I was contemplating doing the other one. You want to hear it? Okay, I thought it says Mountain Democrat, April the 19th, 1890. It is called Sketches. Mixed up a number of uneducated native Hawaiians, an equal number of our own Nishinanni or Digger Indians of both sexes and various ages, and except that the Hawaiians average taller and of a bearded race, no one on the closest acquaintances can easily separate them. They have the same easy, personable laughter, loving temperament, and same gentle friendliness and ready sympathy. Compared in state of nature, i.e., as the white man found them, I think the balance tips in favor of the Nishinanni as the superior race. The Indians were more moral and less superstitious. Their religion was more refined. Their belief was in great unknowable spirit and a happy existence after death. The Hawaiians sacrificed their youth and their maidens to a horrible horde of monsters that their sculptors vice with each other in carving to a sufficient degree of hideousness in wood and stone. They had a system of tyranny and slaving. The fame of their kapu has circled the world under the name of taboo or taboo. The Digger Indians recognize every Nishinani as his brother and equal in caste and privileges. Look at the nations now. True, the Hawaiians have grown in numbers pitifully less. It will take a greater anthropologist than I to tell why the dark faces wither and die before the march of the white man. Such as the remains are in no such degraded conditions as to our poor wards. They are poor and ignorant and vicious among them still, but what the white man could do, he has already done to elevate them. He has built schools where their children may receive not only what we here term a fair common school education, but the boys are taught useful arts and girls cooking, sewing, and housewifery in general. This for the masses, the moneyed sent their children to local college or to Europe and America to finish. And the consequence is that the Hawaiian compares favorable and associates on equal terms with the white man, the rich with the rich, and the poor with the poor. It would be a long search to find a more courtly gentleman, more charming cultured women than some natives and half-castes that I have the pleasure of meeting. The long procession of uniformed boys and from the Royal Canroharmelia schools, the groups of white-robed, dark-eyed girls from Kauailomo present a startling contrast to the handful of forlorn little creatures that California has given to be consumed by vice and vermia, having robbed them of their country and their honest living and given them nothing in return but whiskey and degradation. Look at the other picture. What have we here with us? a miserable remnant of a once free, independent, self-respecting people, downtrodden, reviled, clad to our cast-off rags. Each scrap of victuals thrown to them by us who have robbed them of their country and their birthright, their forests and their game, their rivers and their fish, a meek and gentle people who will thank you earnestly for these poor gifts, a faithful and grateful-hearted people who will never forget a real kindness and will strive to repay in such a poor way as they may. The one who has proved himself a friend, a forgiving and loving people who see themselves melting from the face of the earth, and yet have not one word of resentment toward the white man. They look at the white man as their would-be friend, and in their simplicity believe nothing could have been done to make their condition any better. They understand what has been done to their nation, and know that if we had not done it, others would, and perhaps been more cruel in the accomplishment. I do not dream or invent all this. I gleaned it from the Indians themselves, little by little, in the years gone by. I was always fond of talking with the old Indians and getting their ideas, and always thought something ought to be done for them. I scarcely knew what or how until I saw the other race, by every endowment of nature so similar and yet today so startlingly different. It is too late now, O men of missions whose greed for gold in those early days caused you to forget your greed for souls. Too late, O churches, whose money was spent by thousands in combating how to move the immovable superstition of the Asiatic civilization, whereas many hundreds of your very poor would have done in a good generation what a million could not accomplish in a century in China and Indonesia. It is as if you had cast away into a rushing river the pebbles that would have dammed a little brook and raised the water high enough to turn your mill. It is too late, neighbors and friends, to extend to them a very helping hand. They are degraded, now past of all redemption. Soon will the kindly soul close over the last of a ruined race. I do not speak because I see any help for them, but because I've been thinking deeply and am grieved for them. And if any sister woman of mine who shall read these lines will be a little more considerate of the next poor native who stops at her door to beg, not to ask the restitution of a morsel or a rag of his birthright, and will speak more kindly and help as she is able more generously, these few poor paragraphs would not have been written in vain. Sarah Darlington, April the 19th, 1890, in the Mountain Democrat. Can you still hear me? I was in a conversation, and I think I was recording too. Got the best of that article, you guys. I'm not that good at this, but I wanted to get it out there. If your vision's not the greatest, or if you haven't been able to find these articles, they're there. They're in the archives. Nothing's going to take them away. Mountain Democrat, April the 19th of 1890. And the article is called Sketches. And the other one article was the Placerville Republican on October the 8th of 1928. And that one was called The Indians Are on the Warpath. Oh, enjoy. Bye. Have a good one.